What's holding you back from the life you actually desire? It's not your circumstances, your background, or even the people around you. It's your mentality. A weak attitude teaches you to wait, to settle, to quit up when things become hard. It whispers you're not good enough. It's too late. It's too late. Maybe this is simply how it is, but here's the reality. Your attitude is the one thing standing between you and everything you've ever desired. If you're tired of feeling stuck, weary of making excuses, and tired of seeing others succeed while you stay in the same place, it's time to eliminate your weak mindset. Time to stop allowing fear, doubt, and procrastination dictate your life and start cultivating the unbreakable attitude of a winner. Let's speak about how to accomplish it. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing standing between where you are and where you want to go, it's not your circumstances, your upbringing, or even the economy. It's your mindset. Success isn't about luck or waiting for the right moment. It's about developing a mentality that refuses to settle for average, a mindset that doesn't tolerate excuses, and a mindset that sees obstacles as chances to progress. You have to eradicate, though. Weak mindset replace uncertainty with discipline, fear with faith, and procrastination with persistence. A weak attitude tells you, maybe tomorrow. A strong mentality says today. Right now, a weak mentality asks, oh, what if I face? A strong mindset asks, what if I achieve success starts with a decision? Decision to think differently, act differently, and expect more from yourself. So today, decide that weakness is no longer an option. Decide that you won't be a prisoner of your past, but the architect of your future. Decide that your mind will serve you, not enslave you. Because eliminate the weak attitude. That's the time your life begins to change. Weak thinking blames others. Strong thinking takes control. Your success is in your hands. Winners do what they need to do, whether they feel like it or not. Stop explaining why you can't and start finding ways. You can. A weak mind gives up. A strong mind grows stronger with every challenge. You can't build a powerful mindset in a weak environment. Choose your circle wisely. Life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. Use every setback as a setup for a comeback. Limiting beliefs. Learn to bear suffering. Because beyond your comfort zone, what you tell yourself matters. Stop saying, I can't, and start saying, I will. A weak mindset tolerates mediocrity. A strong attitude requires excellence. Eliminate the weak mindset by feeding the strong one through reading, learning, and taking bold action. If there's one thing that separates those who achieve from those who struggle, it's the willingness to take responsibility, not just for the good, not just when things go right, but for everything. Because the moment you take full responsibility for your life, that's the moment you take full. It's easy to point fingers. It's easy to blame circumstances, the economy, the government, or even the people around you. But here's the truth. Until you decide that your life is in your hands, nothing changes. The person who constantly seeks an excuse will always find a struggle. The person who owns their decisions will. It's not what happens to you that determines your destiny. It's how you respond. Two persons can experience the same setback. One complains and is stuck while the other learns, adjusts, and moves forward. Similar problem, different mindset, different results. Taking responsibility means refusing to wait for someone else to fix your life. It means making adjustments when things aren't working. If your finances aren't where they should be, you learn and improve. If your health is suffering, you take action. If your relationship are struggling, you communicate better. It means recognizing that no matter where are today, you have the power to change it. Some people say, but you don't understand my situation. Maybe that's true. Maybe life has been unfair. Maybe you face setbacks that weren't your fault. But here's the question. What will you do about it? Because at the end of the day, your future won't be shaped by what's happened to you. It will be shaped by what you choose to do. Next success begins when you stop waiting, stop blaming, and start taking ownership. Because when you take responsibility, you take control. And when you take control, you take the first step toward the life. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the cornerstone of every great achievement, every success story, and every accomplishment. Without discipline, dreams remain. Dreams without discipline, potential lies untapped. Yet with it, you can shake. Keep your life into anything you choose. Difficulty is discipline isn't always simple. It's easier to hit the snooze button than to wake up early. It's easier to spend money recklessly than to budget and invest. It's easier to skip the workout, avoid the hard conversation, or put off work until tomorrow. But here's the truth. Success isn't built on what's easy. It's built on what's necessary. Self-discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's about keeping commitments to yourself, because every time you follow through, you build confidence, and every time you break your word, you lose your belief in yourself. Some people wait for inspiration, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is something you can train. The more you practice it, the stronger it gets. Like a muscle, it develops with usage. Start small, wake up on time, adhere to your schedule, follow through. Commitments build the habit of discipline in the small things, and eventually it will spill over into take responsibility. The main things, discipline isn't about perfection. You'll stumble. You'll have days where you slip up. But discipline is about getting back up. It's about consistency over time. Because in the end, success doesn't come from one big action. It comes from the little things you do every single day. Discipline is what separates those who achieve from those who only wish. It's what converts effort into results. And when you master it, life stops being something that happens to you. It becomes something you create. Excuses are easy. They're comfortable. They get you off the hook and give you a reason to stay where you are now. Don't produce success, and excuses don't drive you forward. If you want a better life, you have to exchange your excuses for execution. It's tempting to justify why things aren't working. I don't have enough time. I don't have the appropriate connections. I wasn't born into the right circumstances. And while those things may be true, they don't have to be a limitation. Unless you let them. The reality is, someone else has faced the same challenge and found a way. Someone else had no money, no connections, no support, and still made it, not because it was easy, but because they refused to accept excuses. The key is complain. Do you discover solutions, or do you settle for excuses? Why? It can't be done, because the difference between success and struggle isn't conditions. It's mindset. Execution means taking action, no matter what it means. If you don't know how, you learn. If you don't have the resources, you get creative. If something doesn't work, you adjust. It's about committing to results instead of reasons. Because at the end of the day, no one looks back on their life and says, "I'm so glad I had great excuses." No, they look back and either feel proud of what they built or regret what they didn't do. The shift is simple, but powerful. Stop explaining why you can't. Because once you commit to execution, doors open, opportunities appear, and you prove to yourself that nothing, not time, not money, not circumstances, can stop someone who refuses to quit. Your mind is like a muscle. If you train it, it gets stronger. If you neglect it, it gets weaker. The way you think, the way you react, the way you handle challenges, all of it depends on the fitness of your mind. And just as with physical training, the results don't come quickly, but over time, with persistent effort, weak thinking leads to weak results. When the mind isn't trained, it looks for the easy way out. It gives into fear, doubt, and hesitation. It focuses on problems instead of solutions. It gets discouraged at the first sign of difficulty. But when you train your mind, everything changes. You develop resilience, you develop focus, you develop the ability to push forward, even when things get tough. Now, just like lifting weights strengthens the body, the right habits strengthen the mind. Reading, learning. Yourself with people who challenge you, that's mental training. Facing discomfort, stepping into uncertainty, doing things that stretch you, that's how you build mental toughness. Because every time you push past fear, you're training your mind to be stronger than your excuses. Forces them to embrace challenges, toughen up, they wait until adversity hits before they start strengthening their mindset. But champions don't wait for the storm, they prepare for it. They train themselves to handle pressure before the pressure arrives, and that's the key. You don't train when things aren't easy. You train so that when things get hard, you don't break your mind will either be your greatest asset or your biggest limitation. And the difference is in how you train it. Strength isn't built in comfort, it's built in challenge. So stretch your mind, challenge your thinking, and condition yourself to handle more, to think bigger, and to push harder. Because the stronger your mind, the stronger your life. The people around you shape you more than you realize. Their mindset, their habits, their conversations, all of it influences how you think, how you act, and ultimately, how far you go. If you want to build strength in your life, you have to surround yourself with strength. It's easy to stay in the wrong crowd. It's comfortable, but comfort doesn't lead to growth. If you spend time with people who complain, make excuses, and settle for less, sooner or later, that thinking rubs off on you. For it to happen, but because environment is powerful, you start adopting their habits, you start lowering your standards, and before you know it, you've talked yourself out of the life you truly want. Now, the opposite is also true. Spend time around people who push themselves, who aim higher, who responsibility for their lives. And something amazing happens. Their energy lifts. Their discipline challenges you. Their conversations inspire you to think bigger. Suddenly, excuses don't make sense anymore because you're surrounded by people who find a way instead of finding a reason not to try. Take a look at the people in your life. Do they encourage you to grow, or do they keep you stuck? Do they challenge you to be better, or do they pull you into negativity? This isn't about cutting people off or looking down on anyone. It's about being intentional with your environment. It's about making sure the voices you listen to are leading you in the right direction. If you don't have strong people around you, right now, go find them, read their books, listen to their messages, seek out mentors who believe differently, because strength isn't formed alone. It's built in an atmosphere. Expected, not the exception. When you surround yourself with strength, you naturally get stronger. And as you become stronger, there's no limit to what you can do. There are two sorts of people in life: those who take control and those who feel life is controlling them. The difference between the two isn't luck, background, or circumstance. It's mentality. When you consider yourself as a victim, you give away your power. You allow external forces, let past other people or unfortunate events to dictate your future. But when you take responsibility, you recover control over your choices, actions, and results. True that life may be unfair, challenges arise that are beyond your control, but staying in a victim mentality doesn't solve those challenges, it merely reinforces them. Blaming people or external situations, success routine, might feel reasonable in the time, but it does nothing to better the situation. In reality, it keeps you locked. Progress begins the minute you transfer your focus from what occurred to you to what you can do about it. Solutions instead of waiting for someone else to change your situation. Take action to improve it. When you do this consistently, you develop resilience, confidence, and the power to build your future, regardless of previous setbacks. Every successful individual has suffered setbacks, failures, and hurdles. What separates them from those who stay trapped is their determination to take responsibility of their life. They refuse to let circumstances define them. They refuse to be governed by previous errors, unfair situations, or limiting beliefs. They focus on what they can control, their mindset, their actions, and their ability to adapt and evolve. Taking responsibility isn't about ignoring hardships or pretending difficulties don't exist. It's about acknowledging reality while choosing to rise above it. When you stop playing the victim and start taking ownership, you move from being powerless to powerful. You stop waiting for change and start creating it. And that's when real transformation begins. Mental toughness is the ability to keep going when others quit. It's what separates those who only start from those who complete. It's what helps you to stay dedicated to your goal, even when the enthusiasm wears off and the road gets rough without it. The first setback will take you down with it. No obstacle is powerful enough to keep you back. Test you. There will be moments when things don't go as planned, when the results don't arrive as soon as you'd like, when you feel like it. This is when mental toughness makes the difference. Weak thinking tries for an escape. It searches for excuses, distractions, or an easy way out. Yet those that succeed have schooled themselves to stay the course. They realize that setbacks aren't stop signals. They're simply part of the process. Toughness is forged in hardship. You don't build it when everything is easy. You develop it when you push through opposition, when you refuse to quit despite discomfort, when you show up and do the job. Even when you don't feel like it, every time you conquer a challenge, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than you imagined. Ew. The more you show that, the tougher you become. It's not about ignoring difficulties. It's about choosing that no difficulty is larger than your commitment. It's about making up your mind that no matter how hard it gets, you're going to keep pushing ahead. Success is never about avoiding about becoming the sort of person who doesn't back down from it. The good news is mental toughness isn't something you either have or don't have. It's something you can build. It starts with small decisions. Pushing yourself a little further when you want to stop. Maintaining a promise to yourself. It would be easier to quit choosing discipline over comfort, commitment over convenience. Every time you do this, you strengthen your mind. And every time you strengthen your mind, you get one step closer to the life you want. The words you speak shape the life you live. What you say about yourself. Yours of what you say about yourself, your abilities, and your future either builds you up or tears you down. You constantly speak doubt, limitation, and failure. Don't be surprised when those things show up in your life. But if you speak strength, confidence, and possibility, you'll start to see new doors open. Of their own words, they say things like, "I'm not good at this. I never catch a break or successes for other people, not me." And without knowing it, their environment, reinforcing their own limitations. Your mind listens to what you say. Speak weakness, and you feel
Weak mention, struggle, and lie.
Feels like a struggle, but speak strength, and you'll start to feel stronger. Speaking strength doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means refusing to make negativity your reality. It means that when you face a challenge, instead of saying, "I can't do this," you say, "I'll figure this out," instead of saying, "This is too hard," you say, "This is making me stronger." It means replacing doubt with determination and fear with faith. Words create momentum. Negative words drain energy, but strong words build it. Have you ever noticed how speaking confidence makes you feel more confident? Or how speaking possibilities makes you see more opportunities? This isn't just positive thinking. It's about training your mind to see solutions instead of roadblocks. If you want a strong life, start with strong language. Remove out words of defeat and replace them with words of growth. Speak strength into your goal. your work, and your future, because when you consistently affirm what's possible, your mind begins to believe it. And when your mind believes it, your actions follow. That's when transformation happens. That's when you step into the life you were meant to live. Your life is a direct reflection of the standards. For yourself, if you accept average, you'll get average. If you tolerate excuses, you'll live with excuses. But the moment you decide to raise your standards, to expect more from yourself, to demand excellence in your habits, your thinking, and your actions, that's the moment everything begins to... That's the moment everything begins to change. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because they settle for just getting by. They settle for a job they don't love, for relationships that drain them, for habits that keep them stuck. And over time, that becomes their normal. Here's the truth. Your life will never rise above the standards you set. If you expect more, you'll get more. If you demand better, you'll become better. Growth isn't automatic. It doesn't happen just because you get older, and it doesn't happen just because you want it to. Growth is intentional. It's something you commit to something. You commit to something. You pursue something you work on every single day. And the moment you stop growing, you stop improving. The moment you stop improving, you start falling behind. The difference between those who achieve and those who struggle isn't talent, it's commitment to growth. Some people go through life just going through the motions. They wake up, go to work, come home, and repeat the same routine day after day, never stretching themselves, never learning, never pushing past their current limits. And then they wonder why their life never changes. But those who commit to growth every day think differently. They don't wait for the right moment to learn. They don't wait until life forces them to change. They take control of their development. They read, they study, they challenge their own thinking. They seek out mentors, invest in skills, and push themselves into new experiences. They know that every day is an opportunity to get better, and they refuse to waste it now. Growth isn't always comfortable. It requires effort, discipline, and sometimes discomfort. It means step into uncertainty and doing things you've never done before. And that's exactly where transformation happens. You don't grow by staying in your comfort zone. You grow by stretching beyond it, by facing new challenges, by taking action, even when it feels uncomfortable. Some people think success is about luck, but it's not. It's about who you become. It's about the skills you develop, the mindset you cultivate, and the habits. Happens through daily growth. So ask yourself, what am I learning today? Final thoughts. What am I improving? How am I stretching myself? Because if you can answer those questions every single day, you won't have to seek success. It will come to you. Development is a decision. It doesn't happen by mistake. And it doesn't happen just because time passes some folks' life. The same year over and over again, never improving, never learning, never stretching beyond where they are. And then there are those who commit to growth, who wake up every day determined to be better than they were yesterday. That's the difference between a life of progress and a life of regret. Growth means you take responsibility for your own development. You don't wait for circumstances to change you. Change yourself. You don't wait for the perfect opportunity, you prepare for it. You seek out knowledge, challenge your own thinking, and push yourself into new experiences. Because life will only give you what you are prepared to handle. If you want more, you have to become more now. Growth isn't always easy. It requires effort, discipline, and sometimes discomfort. It means breaking old habits that no longer serve you. It means stepping into uncertainty, learning new skills, and learning new skills. Pushing past the fear of failure. But every time you grow, you expand your potential. Every time you stretch yourself, you become stronger, wiser, and more capable. Some people wait for motivation to get started. But commitment comes first. Growth isn't about what you feel like doing. It's about what you feel like you've decided to do. Read every day. Learn something new. Surround yourself with people who challenge you. Do the hard things that others avoid. Because growth isn't an event, it's a lifestyle. The best investment you can make is in yourself. When you grow everything around, you grow, your confidence increases. Opportunities expand, and your life begins to take on new meaning. The key is consistency. One day of development won't alter your life, but years of everyday improvement will transform you into a person who can achieve anything. Therefore, make the commitment, show up for your personal growth. And see how your life rises to match it. You adapt yourself. You don't wait for the right chance, you prepare for it. You make learning a priority. You challenge your own thinking. You seek out new experiences that stretch your comfort zone. 'Cause here's the truth. Your success will never exceed your personal growth. If you want more, you must become more. Most people want better results, but they don't want to do the work of becoming better. They want more income, but won't take the time to learn new skills. They want better relationships, but won't work on their communication or personal discipline. They want to be more confident, but won't challenge the doubts that hold them back. Growth requires effort, and effort is what separates those who stay stuck from those who move forward. Now, growth isn't always comfortable. It requires discipline. It requires you to break old habits and replace them. It requires you to step into uncertainty, to embrace challenges, and to be willing to fail and learn from it. But the reward is worth it, because the more you grow, the more opportunities